Well, thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the invitation for today. Here I'm in Uruguay. As you can see, I'm with the mate. And if you want to know more about this, maybe another time I can share how we prepare this. So we take it a lot here in Uruguay and in Argentina too. But here I'm taking this for in the mornings. But sometimes maybe if you want to know more about mate, I can show you how we prepare. Well, today we are going to talk about Latin American women. As you know, we are praying for the Americas this month, so I'm going to talk to you about um, what we are doing with Women of Hope here in Latin America. But first of all, I want to give you an overview about how what the situation of women here in Latin America. Latin America is a region diverse in culture, economy, and social development. However, many women face structural challenges that affect their physical, emotional, economic, and spiritual well being. Although there has been progress in education, political participation, and legal rights, significant gaps remain in areas such as violence, economic inequality, and access to opportunities. One of the most biggest problems we share, unfortunately, in Latin America, it's the violence against women. It's one of the most serious problems is gender-based violence. Latin America has some of the highest rates of femicide in the world. Countries like Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, Brazil, and Uruguay have faced alarming figures in recent years. Many women suffer domestic violence, sexual abuse, and human trafficking. And in some contexts, fear, economic dependence, and lack of institutional support prevent them from reporting the abuse to the authorities. So this has profound consequences, as you know, like trauma, poverty, family disintegration, and cycles of violence that affect, of course, the children and women too. So then we have the economic inequality. Um, Although many women work and support the households, a gender gap still remains exist. So many work in informal sector without social security. That is a huge problem for them. A high percentage of households in the region are headed by women, especially single mothers. And I think this is something that I'm going to say is something that we share all around the world, but here in Latin America, it's very common that women dedicate more hours to unpaid work, like caring for the home, the children, and the elderly relatives. So the poverty disproportionately affects rural, indigenous, and Afro-American women. Then health and maternity. This is something that is still it's a problem here, especially in Uruguay. There are some areas that is a problem still nowadays. To access to quality health services is unequal, and maternal mortality is higher in vulnerable areas. Many women bear the sole responsibility for family care, so I think this is a huge problem too, that there is also a silent mental health crisis like depression, anxiety, and burnout. Then we have the spiritual reality. From a Christian perspective, many women are the spiritual pillars of their families. They are the majority in churches, it's something that happens here in Latin America a lot. They lead ministries, intercession, and service, but they also face excessive burdens, lack of emotional support, bounce from cultural machismo, confusion about identity and purpose amidst social change. So Latin American women, I know that are resilient, hardworking, and deeply spiritual, but they need support, they need restoration, and they need justice. And what is going on with Women of Hope project here in Latin America? We want to support these women. We continue working with commitment and dedication to bring a message of comfort, restoration, and hope to women in different communities. So what we are doing in action with Women of Hope, well, first of all, through the radio programs that are produced and broadcast on more than 60 radio stations on Latin America. The radio program is also broadcast in the Guarani dialect in Paraguay that they make there in Paraguay. Then the prayer requests are recorded too. Every prayer request is broadcasted daily on the radio and also uploaded to our social media. Then we have women groups that use the prayer calendar in their weekly or monthly meetings and prayer meetings at churches or in-house. Here in Uruguay, we distribute the prayer calendar by WhatsApp, and it can also be downloaded from the web. In the past, we used to print the calendar and send it by mail post, but this is something expensive here in Uruguay. So now we are sending it distributed by WhatsApp. So we have received invitations from different churches here in Uruguay, all around Uruguay, that we go for with the keep here. So we go to churches to present Women of Hope program, prayer calendars. We pray with them. We have a time with Bible study. Thank God we have. Sorry, I forgot to to pass. Thank God we have a group of committed women working in Latin America together with the rest of the team in each office. It's not only these ladies that you can see here, it's more people in the back working. We have men too here in the office to working. There are a lot of people working. Thank God for this. And I think I'm convinced that when a woman discovers that she's loved by God, uh, then start a healing process that begins, that impacts her life in the first place, then impacts her family, and finally, I'm convinced that impacts in the community. So I think it's very important that we support the women all around the world, and in this time, especially in Latin America. Women of Hope, bringing comfort, restoration, and the firm reminder that every woman is precious and loved by God. So maybe if you want to take some topics from specifically pray today, we can pray for women that are victims of violence, domestic violence, and then for the conversion and transformation of violent men, for emotional restoration, and for young women and girls. Here in Uruguay, especially some years ago, we have a law of the women can abort. It's legal, the abortion now. So it's tremendous. The number of abortions are growing every year. So ladies that don't take that path for these babies. And you have more topics to pray in the March prayer calendar. But sorry, until I in this part, I want to share two listener messages that are from Uruguay. And as you have in the there. This is from Isabel from Maldonado. Maldonado is a city here in Uruguay. She said the Women of Hope program is wonderful. We appreciate the time you dedicate to it, and the topics you choose are always surprising and incredibly helpful. God bless you. This one was longer, but I I make it shorter. May God bless you. I am Alicia. You bless my soul and always encourage me. I not only pray for women I may never meet, but I also notice that we share the same difficulties. We also have the same Lord Jesus as an anchor of faith to overcome them. Furthermore, I learn because sometimes I have to look at places I don't know on a map. And I also enjoy all the good advice you give us covering various areas of life. Women of Hope is a blessing in my life. So this is from Alicia here in Uruguay too. Well, and this is my my overview of Latin America, and I think there's a lot of more to say. Um, I'm sorry if I talk too fast, or I hope you can understand my English. Sorry if I make some mistakes. If you want to make me some questions, I think I can.
Yes, we actually have some time right now. Ladies, we have Elizabeth here from Uruguay, and you have an opportunity to ask her some questions. So if you have a question, just go ahead and type it in the chat. And Elizabeth, I'm going to ask the first one. You had mentioned that there are 60 radio stations that are
Mhm,
carrying the Women of Hope programs. What are some of the countries that are being reached with that?
mhm,
You have the great opportunity that Spanish is spoken in so many nations. You know,
mhm.
some of our women, they create a program and it's in a language for perhaps just one nation, but Spanish reaches so many. So what are some of the countries where your Women of Hope programs are reaching besides Uruguay?
Yeah, well, Argentina, it's one of the countries here in Uruguay, Panama, El Salvador, Bolivia, and even one radio in London. It's downloaded the program. I don't know why, but
Really?
maybe it's a group of Spanish ladies there, so they are downloaded the program too. So it's been a blessing to be Brazil, of course, but they have their own program because of the language. But we all together work with this. Is I always think that it's amazing that a program we made here in Uruguay, a little country in the south, are taking a lot of it's amazing that God is using this little program, I say a little country, to bless so many women in Latin America and all over the world. Because in our website, you can see where the people enter to the website, and it's all over the world. So because the Latin American people, it's all around the world, so they are listening in Europe, in Asia too.
Absolutely. So, okay, so Don, you're asking, is the Women of Hope program in Spanish only produced in Uruguay, or did you also say in Paraguay?
Yeah, in Paraguay, yeah, in Spanish, it's producing here in Uruguay. In Paraguay, they have Guarani dialected, so they made there because we don't know Guarani, but they know the women. So I think in Bolivia they are trying to make it in Quechua. It's another dialect they have there. but in Spanish and only here in Uruguay, yes.
Mhm. And Joanne is asking, are drugs a big factor in the way that women are treated in South America?
Yeah, it's a huge problem because now, these days I was reading the news about how the drugs are affected. So many pregnant ladies are taking drugs, so they are affecting the babies. There's a hospital here, a public hospital that have babies that the ladies live there, and they have too many problems because of the mother was taking drugs during the pregnancy. So it's a huge problem, yeah.
Carla is asking, does the program reach Central America and Mexico as well?
Yeah, in Mexico, there's a radio that is downloaded, but yeah, I think only one radio is taking the program right now.
And I'm curious, Elizabeth, how do you come up with the types of programs? How do you come up with the topics? How do you find maybe some of the specialists or the guests that you are inviting on the programs?
Well, in Latin America, we think a lot of topics we share the same problems. So maybe the usual, the daily things we share. So maybe it start with something personal that you feel that God is telling you, and something you are living, like well, in my case, I'm a mother, so maybe topics like with this, or maybe being a wife, and we try to abark I don't know how to say, um to reach all years. Maybe if we want to talk about something for younger people, maybe we invite some someone younger, or maybe a psychologist, that we always try to invite something, someone that is especially in the area we are going to talk, so we can talk with authority about the situation.
Okay, Dawn, you're asking, do you put the program on the internet? If so, is it available to Spanish speakers anywhere in the world? So is it strictly on radio or do you also have it on the internet?
In our website, it's the programs, yeah, the audio and the script
So,
in the Spanish web.
yes, what is the URL? May perhaps when
Yeah,
after you
I
finish,
put them.
put the URL in the chat if because that would be something that people would be able to share with
It's in
their other
Spanish,
Spanish speaking.
Mujeres de Esperanza. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Um, we're very appreciative that you took the time to share with us about what is going on in Latin America.